Good morning team, Coach Calvin here and welcome to day 44 of your home workout. Today's focus is all about that whole body workout. So grab yourself a mat or towel, 2 light objects, 2 medium objects or weights. So let's gather up all that Friday feeling and crush this workout. As always, don't forget to tag us in your selfies and videos, hashtagging ICANIWILL, and have an awesome day. And I'll see you soon.
This total body dynamic warm-up is going to be 6 minutes of work, 3 exercises. We're going to go ahead and start 30 seconds per side of a hip rock. Starting in a tabletop position, we're going to kickstand one leg out, sitting back on that heel, really working those hips and inner thigh. At 30 seconds, you'll switch sides. Next up, we have a hamstring stretch into a knee tuck. Kickstanding one heel forward, toes pointing towards the ceiling. We're sitting back on that back leg. Then we'll rock forward, driving that back leg up, knee to about hip height. Last but not least, we have 1 minute of a seal jack. Arms nice and wide to open up the chest, feet nice and wide as well. An option here, we can always step it out and back to a starting position. You have 2 full rounds. Go ahead and get warmed up.
Fight can easily die. Yes, I swear that it'll rise with or without you. This is for the lack of mine. Today, boys, I don't think I will be quiet, 'cause I will be fine with or without you. I can feel it burning through like fire.
Lindsay, you like a good value?
Of course.
All right, we're gonna get a heck of a value out of this one. We've got a lot of combination movements on this block. 8 minutes of work, 5 exercises we're gonna go through. Your goal is to get at least 2 rounds. You're gonna want 2 objects that are about medium weight here. We have water jugs for this. Starting with 10 total reps of an alternating reverse lunge to a lateral raise. Stepping back, dropping that back knee down to the ground, squeezing the shoulder blades to bring our objects to shoulder height. Bringing them back down, driving through the front foot back to our standing position. An option, you can always reduce your range of motion on the lunge. Next up, 10 reps of a deadlift to an upright row. Lindsay's feet are about hip width apart. She's popping the hips back, keeping the chest nice and tall, bringing the shoulders back. Then from there, bringing our elbows up to shoulder height, then back down. An option here, you can reduce the depth of your deadlift. Next up, 10 total reps of an alternating lateral lunge to a bicep curl. You can see we're heavy in the heels, chest nice and tall, driving back to our standing position, squeezing the biceps, bringing it back down. An option here, reduce your depth on the alternating lunge. Next up, we have our neutral full thruster, 10 reps, shoulders nice and tall, elbows tall, heavy in the heels, exploding up into an overhead press. Option here, reduce the depth of the squat portion. Now we get to bring those down. All right, we got 20 reps of a standard crunch. Feet are hip width apart, hands behind the ears, elbows nice and wide, neutral chin. Driving the shoulders up, contracting, bringing the belly button to spine, lower back in contact with the ground. Option here, reduce your range of motion. 5 exercises, your goal is to get at least 2 rounds. Let's get to work.
They wanna wake the street. You said you'd take care of me. I said let's go carefully. I don't wanna end up in a heap. And we met with friends of ours, thankfully for just an hour. And we headed on down the beach. Sun was just about to set, and in my head a silly bet that we'd get to morning without sleep. Oh, what a night, like the 4th of July. Stars lighting my eyes like a sun. You're directing the dream, like an old movie scene, taking every chance.
Tabata. 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. We'll do 2 exercises on repeat, 4 rounds. Exercise 1, iso squat jack. So legs are apart, body stays still as the legs hop apart and together. Option is normal squat jack with the soft sink in between reps. Exercise 2, onto the ground for a seated knee tuck. Belly button stays up nice and tall, chin is lifted, legs extend out, and crunch in. On the crunch, pull that core in tight. Option 1 leg at a time, opposite foot rests to the ground. 2 exercises, 4 rounds. Let's do some Tabata.
Time for a little core stabilization. We've got 4 total exercises over the course of this 8-minute block. You're going to repeat this until time is called. A goal for you 2 rounds or more. You're going to need a light weight for this one. We're going to start with 10 reps of a half get up. We're going to start on our right side here, bending that knee. We're going to roll to our side, finding our elbow before pressing through, bringing our object overhead. Eyes on it the entire way through. An option, you can reduce your range of motion punching it into the air. Next up, we have 10 reps of a half kneeling overhead to stand. Arm is locked out overhead. We're going to step back into our reverse lunge. There is no overhead press here, so just keep that bad boy overhead. An option here, you can bring it down to the shoulder or you can reduce the depth of your lunge. Next up, we have our wood chopper. Starting at our right hand side by our hip, we're going to drive overhead, making the rotation at our torso. You'll have 10 reps of that as well. Once you're done with all 3 of those, you're going to switch sides, repeating. Last but not least, 20 total reps of an alternating swimmer. We're going to keep our shoulders off the ground, the chin neutral, alternating, raising one leg up at a time, that opposite arm in sync. Option here, slow things down. Make sure your coordination's on point before you speed it up. You've got 8 minutes of work here. Get ready for that core burn.
We are fire, fire. You've lost your love, the deepest cut knocks you down in your tracks. Don't let that fire in you go out. All engines on, you can't go back. No one said that this would be easy. You've taken quite a blow. Lift up your bed and show they see you are not on your own. Together we are solid gold. 'Cause we are the flaming souls, pure love burning the furnace. We are too hot to take a hold, just like the firecrackers. We are firecrackers. We are fire, fire. We are firecrackers. We are fire, Cause we are the flaming souls, pure love burning the furnace. We are too hot to take a hold, just like the firecrackers. We are firecrackers. We are fire, fire. We are firecrackers. We are fire, fire.
Tabata block, we're stepping into the ring. 2 exercises, 4 rounds, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds rest. Exercise 1, jump rope, imaginary jump rope. Side to side, getting the movement through the arms. Think explosive, powerful, ready for the big fight. For exercise 2, we're stepping into the ring. Iso squat, alternating punch. Nice and strong, nice and powerful. It's time to fight. Again, 2 exercises, 4 rounds. Let's get to work.
We worked our sympathetic nervous system throughout the workout as we elevated our heart rate. Now it's time to upregulate our parasympathetic nervous system to bring our heart rate back down and to cool off our bodies. We have 4 stretches coming at you, 20 seconds on each side. Ready, Ange?
Ready.
All right, our first stretch is going to be Cobra. We're gonna lie face down on our comfy mat or towel, bringing our hands directly at the sides of our chest as we lift our chest up off the ground till our range of motion allows, really stretching out that core. 20 seconds holding here. From there, we're gonna go into child's pose, where we're gonna bring our big toes together, pull our knees out a little bit wider than hip width apart, let our torso sink between the knees as we extend our arms, relaxing our head. Holding this for 20 seconds, our third stretch is going to be an angled child's pose, where we shift our hands a little bit to the right, feeling that nice deep pull and stretch along our side, and then switching it to the other side for 20 seconds. Our fourth stretch is going to be our seated toe reach, sitting up nice and tall on our sit bones as our legs are extended, feet are flexed, and just keeping her back nice and flat as she extends her arms straight out in front of her, hinging at her hips until her range of motion allows, slowly lowering her hands down once she feels that stretch in her hamstrings and her calves. Let's start getting that body cooled down.